KO, he's feeling better. He won't practice today. We're kind of hoping that he might actually get a chance to practice this week, which would be great, but we'll be smart about that. Brian Winters he's going to be out. He's doing well, though. Shell's going to do individual today. We'll evaluate him after that. There was nothing structurally wrong. I just think it's one of those situations his foot got caught in the turf and in warm-ups and just kind of probably made us all a little nervous, want to be safe with that. Kyron Brown, he's not practicing. Tremaine's not practicing. Arthur's going to practice. We're just going to be careful. He's had a couple of soft tissue things in the last couple of weeks, so we're going to be smart with that. Jamie Mosley's out. Jeff Smith's out. Cashman's out, but hopefully he can practice this week at some point. And then Harvey's back this week.
Adam, is this week any different? Week 3 of the preseason?
Yeah, the practice, obviously, with the time, you guys know, just because we've been going earlier in training camp, so we're really gonna kind of get in a real week with the amount of meeting time that we have, practice, everything's structured like it would be in season. So we want our guys to kind of get used to that. We're still gonna kind of rep it where we get a few more reps because we have a bigger roster right now. Individuals probably a little longer than what it would normally be in season, but for the most part, the guys are going to get used to the structure of how this practice is going to go.
What was your rhythm in Miami in terms of the third preseason game? How deep do you usually go for this?
It was always different. Everywhere I've been, it's just so game to game. It's I've been in situations where we came out at halftime and played. The first drive of this third quarter. There's been times where they've been out halfway through the second quarter. It's just all kind of depends on how things are going.
Is that something you'll decide as these next couple practices go? Or
Yeah, we just tell we just tell the guys just be ready to go a half in a series, and really we'll play off of that. Just see how it's going.
Do you script your first 15 out for the game?
Sometimes. I have an idea what I want to do. I go over some stuff, but we can go off track really quick. Just depends if everything's flowing real well, stay with it. If not, then just start calling other stuff.
Did you script the first drive in the last 2 games?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
How about during the regular seasons?
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's just kind of like have an idea of kind of what we want to do, what we want to see, what we want to talk about the night before, what we're looking to kind of really accomplish on those, first 15.
And has there been a player offensively or defensively that's kind of surprised you through camp?
I don't know if I'm really surprised by anything.
Someone stood out.
Did I say Le'Veon Bell?
Yeah.
I think that whole running back group has done a good job. It's been just trying to get their skill set down. I think those guys really help us a lot because they can do so much, especially Le'Veon and Ty. Cannon I think's really improved since the spring. He looks like he's catching the ball a lot better. It looks smoother, more natural. So, that whole group, they're coming along the way we need them to.
What did you know of, what was your impression of time before you, from afar, and what have you seen just in terms of what you think you bring here?
Well, when he was in Green Bay, I think that was 15 was his rookie year, I think. That was about right. I think that was one of his first games he played. I think he ripped one off against us. So, just notice him from afar. And anytime you get a guy that was a wide receiver and then all of a sudden he's a running back, you kind of notice that. You see 88 in the backfield. You kind of take notice of that when you're on other teams and pay attention. He always seemed like he was the kind of guy that the future Hall of Fame quarterback relied on to do the right thing, and he made plays when he had opportunities.
How much time does it take for the offensive line to gel enough where you feel comfortable?
To me, it's guys that have experience. It's always less time. If you had a bunch of young guys up front, then it might take a little more time to get used to kind of calls and how each other operates. But when you have veteran players, those guys they seem to just gel quicker.
How likely are you to keep 3 quarterbacks, and how would you assess?
Yeah, we haven't really had that conversation. That's something that'll come up probably after this game. We'll start really getting after it. I've always been a fan of the more quarterbacks you can keep, the better. We had 4 on the roster last year at one point, probably for about 4 or 5 weeks. So, it's the hardest position in the NFL to find, and if you find guys you like, why not keep working on developing them?
much of a resource is having Phil Savage around in terms of player personnel with his experience in the Senior Bowl? A lot of these players went through the Senior Bowl, then the Alliance of American Football, there's like 50 guys in camps this time.
Yeah, I mean, Phil's knowledge just in general, I mean, he's been doing it a long time. You know, it's interesting that Joe and myself both had relationships with him since 2000. I mean, we've both known him for a long time. So, and then with him kind of really spreading out what he's been doing over the last 10 years outside of being a GM, I mean, that's valuable for us because he has a lot of knowledge. He's seen a lot of guys. He's seen guys coming out of college. He's worked with guys that are actually potential NFL guys, you know, in the Alliance League. So, I mean, he's somebody that can really help us, especially when this period coming up soon.
And have you gotten an indication from the medical staff that Winters will be ready for week 1?
Well, right now everything's looking good. Brian is a old school tough guy, man. I mean, he just works hard. He's trying to get his body where it needs to be for week 1. It sounds like everything's on track and looks good. It's just I can't tell you until we kind of get through those practices of that week. You know, that's why the good thing is everything looks like he's gonna be able to practice for the first week of the season when we get ready for Buffalo. So we'll have a really good idea where he's at.
Adam Sam's first couple goes in these 2 games early has been looked real good. What do you want to see on Saturday with a more extended period?
I think really it's just not just the first drive, but just see what we can do, see if we can put some first downs together on the following drives. You know, just the consistency. Just see if.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Just how important is that game? Obviously, it's the one real dress rehearsal, so to speak. How important is that for
You never want to.
get some continuity?
It's like one of those things. When it goes well, you try not to be too positive, and if it doesn't go well, you try not to be too negative. I mean, this is a fine line. I mean, we have a long ways to go. I mean, every week you're just trying to get better, and you know, if you have one week where it doesn't go the way that you planned it to go, then you just got to find a way to get better the next week.
Do you anticipate seeing some more stuff this week out from the Saints, like some more blitzing and things like that?
There's a good chance. We'll see what Dennis has got dialed up for us.
With Jermaine's hamstring, is that something where when he gets back, you expect him to be a full go, or will you have to monitor that throughout the year?
We'll see kind of when he comes back. We'll have a really good idea by the time he steps on the field of where we're at and if there's any kind of limitations. But with those kind of injuries, you don't necessarily put a guy out there unless you feel really confident.
Going back to the scripting thing, not necessarily in the preseason, but in the regular season, if you're getting like a way different look than what you expect, how quickly do you abandon that?
Fast.
Do you ever abandon it like on the first?
Like third play, yeah, a lot.
When a new regime comes in, guys like Steve McClendon are usually the first to go, the older guy, and the new guys come in. And can you
No
talk
chance.
to, what's that?
No chance.
That's kind of where I'm going. What did you know, he talked about being honored that he was brought back with a new regime and whatnot. What have you seen in him? What did you know about him?
His reputation around the league is outstanding. Everybody knows what kind of guy. They know he's a worker, smart, tough. He's a culture guy, man. He's a lot, but he's a really good player. He doesn't look his age to me. Mm-hmm. The way he practices, the way he plays in the game. He wanted to strangle me for holding him out that first game, but we just thought that was a smart thing to do. And he does everything right. And guys listen to him. When he speaks, people listen.
Does it kind of show that? Because the one really testy practice you guys had a little bit ago, Steve was one of the guys that, can't talk specifics what he said, but he was one of the people that stepped in off of the sideline to say a few words. Does that kind of show his leadership?
Yeah, because he's about us getting better as a team. And sometimes you need that to happen. You need those type of situations to happen and kind of see what happens, see who steps up, see who's going to speak up. And obviously he showed who he is, who he's always been. So, I mean, the guy's been part of winning teams majority of his career. He knows what it looks like. He knows how to do it.
Adam, I wasn't in Atlanta, and you were probably asked this, so I apologize, but those early throws, Sam to Quincy and then Robbie, that just stood out to me. I mean, but it's me. What did you think of how he made those plays and those two throws?
Yeah, the throw to Quincy, I don't know if I've seen many that were better in my career. I mean, he put it in the one spot that, I mean, it was a very tight throw, and it was very accurate. I mean, it was a great throw considering he had a little bit of pressure in his face and he slid and he wasn't really aligned, and to throw it with that kind of accuracy was very impressive.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks.